Hey, welcome again. We're in week 4 of the MCC, and we have some work ahead of us today in 3D design. So I would like to ask you, what about you? What kind of experiences do you have in the world of making? Now, as we've all been teachers or are teachers, we know that teachers create things all the time, but maybe you have a special hobby or an interest that you've had. Or maybe you have a secret hobby that you're not wanting to talk about. Maybe that's what it is.
I build
All
a
right.
lot with Legos with my kiddo. So there's
Oh, okay.
lots of Legos in my household. So we build a
Yeah.
lot between the miniature Legos to the Duplos to the regular Legos. We're always building something with Legos.
Hmm. Anybody else that are Lego fan?
Yeah, my
Yeah.
wife is complaining because we have so many Lego sets all around the house. We don't know where to put them, and
Uh,
she's getting
yeah.
upset that I'm taking up counter space.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness. That
some
to me sounds incredible. That's great.
so many great things to build, though. It's endless. That's what I love.
Right. Right. Exactly. And I noticed, I don't know, a number of years back that it was almost like making was making its way into um other kinds of hobbies. Like um it wasn't no longer were you just a chef, but you were like an artisan chef. So you had this um, creativity, and no longer can you go and just have regular brew. It has to be artisan, artisan this, artisan that. Well, I think we've all had a variety of experiences in the world of making. How about in 3D design? Do you have any experience with 3D design? Today we're going to work in Tinkercad. Maybe you've had a little chance to take a look at it this week.
I've done as a middle school teacher, I've done SketchUp with my students.
Okay, great.
That's, you know,
And what can you tell us a little bit about SketchUp? What exactly is that?
SketchUp is a very easy to use 3D program. It should be free for educators. There's a web version now, and there's the pro version, which is free for educators, although it's a little tricky to get. But
Mm,
it's one of those programs that you can within the 10 minutes you can kind of get going on it. You're not going to learn it all in 10 minutes, but in 10-15 minutes you can really do a lot. And I like it because you can also create animations, which you could export as, let's say, an MP3 file, and then
hmm.
bring that into a video editing program and do a
Great.
lot with it. So very powerful and easy to use. I liked it a lot.
All right, great. Well, thank you, Scott. Um, hey, listen, I just shared my screen. I want to make sure you can see it. Are you seeing my beginning 3D design? Yes?
Yep.
Okay, great. Make sure I'm sharing the right screen there. This is our agenda for today. We are already done or finishing with the first one there, so we can check that off. And we're going to take some time in just a minute to jump into some design with Tinkercad, a very simple object. And I'm going to see today how we do with that. And then we'll take a look at the options for the activity this week and take a look at that. Well, depending on the time we have, we might be able to even get started on that. So we'll see how that goes. We'll collaborate a little bit on um, whether or not we're all going to do the same, or you might want to do the same. I have about 4 or 5 different options there. You might want to do the same as someone else and work together. We'll see how it goes. And all the way through here, I want you just to be thinking, okay, what's the application here in my classroom, in with the different students that I work with? Maybe the application would be with an individual student who you may see the aptitude to do some design. Or maybe it's a whole class type of an application where you're giving a project that you can use Tinkercad with. Any questions? All right, I'll take that as a no. Well, would you go to a tab and open up Tinkercad, tinkercad.com? Does everyone have access? Just check on that. You know, as we're getting started, I want to ask the question, why? Why even talk about 3D design in elementary, middle, and high school? Well, one of the reasons is because jobs. It's been predicted by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics that 1 million jobs in STEM are projected in this decade alone. And that represents, they say, about 11% growth in that category of jobs: engineering, science, math, and so on. What are some other reasons? Go ahead and help me out here. Why would we need to or want to be involved in, have our students be involved with 3D design like Tinkercad? Oh, come on. You got to have something there. I know it. You know, one of the things that first comes to my mind is fun. Creativity. Okay, we have some
That's
there.
right.
Good. And Kathy says, picture, please. Oh, she wants a picture of the Lego shoes.
I
Problem
do. I want to
solving.
see. I want
Good.
to see the shoes.
Good. And have some other ones listed here too. Thanks for your input. That's good. Curriculum connections. So in my experience, activities like 3D design and other activities in the maker world can be a great way to apply what students are learning. You can create even something simple in Tinkercad to share their knowledge. There's also this category of social emotional learning. And what are some of the soft skills that students can learn by doing a challenging design project? Collaboration. Good. Thank you, Carla. How about perseverance, persistence? Problem solving, empowerment of the creator. Thank you, Scott.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's good. Empowerment. Yes. What is that? Self-efficacy, determination. I mean, the list could go on. And you know, here's another area that I just want to mention, and that is that equity is really a exciting field that a lot of us are looking at right now, and it's really empowering to see how students can benefit by being exposed to careers and career paths in STEM. It could start when they're very young, and they could see that they have an aptitude or an interest in something like 3D design, and it might lead to other things. And particularly, what one survey that I have seen some results of, there continues to be growth, particularly among females and Black students, in terms of careers that they're going for with tech-related fields. Well, let's get started. We all have our tab open to Tinkercad. We're going to click on New and 3D Design. It's okay if you want to work ahead of me, but this first activity is just designed to be pretty simple, so we can get a feel for working in the workspace. So you should have the work plane. It should be blank, like mine. Yes?
Hey, Mark.
Yes.
Sally has a question. She created a Tinkercad account. Should she join your class? She's not sure where to go from this point forward.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sally. There's no need to join a class at this point. Just in your Tinkercad account, let me go back to home screen. And then in this process, we're just getting a sense or a feel for how the app works. One of the things about the app that's pretty sweet in my thinking is it works on the web browser. So, you know, it's not too demanding. It works on Chromebooks just fine. They also have an iPad app, by the way, that's pretty nice. Well, I'm in Tinkercad, and over on the right, I see a little blue button that says New with the plus sign. So click there. That's one way to get into the workspace.
I have create new design. Is that it? I don't just have new.
Okay, you might have a different one. So you can also click on designs in the left menu, and that gives me like tiles of different designs. I'm going to click on new there. So if you don't have the new button, not sure what's going on with that.
I see it now. Thank you.
Oh, very good. Very good. And depending on your internet connection, it does sometimes take a minute to load in there. Okay, so that's my workspace. Just a quick look around the workspace. If you click on the right button on your mouse, if you're using a mouse, and drag around, it moves that work plane around. I'm just doing that rotation by clicking on the work plane and then use my right mouse button. In the top left, there's also a cube, which is really kind of nice. When you click on the cube with the left button, you can move it around that way too. Or if you double click on front, it'll just swoop, go automatically to the front view. I'm going to go ahead and double click on right, and it goes to the right. You can't really tell the difference because there's nothing on the work plane. I'm just going to go back up here. Kind of in the view where it started. I'm kind of looking down at the from the corner up above a little bit. Okay, so if I want to make a basic nameplate, like I made this one for the Media Creation Collaborative. It's kind of not showing up in the camera. What shape should I start with? See the shapes on the right side there where it says basic shapes? I mean, I could go with different ones, but I'm gonna just start with the box, the red box. Click and drag it.
It's a square. Oh,
Yeah, it's a square, it's a cube, a box. And you know, it doesn't matter exactly where it goes on the work plane. You can even click that that cube, that shape, and you can drag it around. You see, as I drag it, there's a dotted line that's showing where it wants to snap down to the work
okay.
plane. Now you see there on the shape, there's all these different little squares and shapes. The light ones, there's one in the center, and there's the corners. When I click on those, I can drag the shape and squish it and stretch it. So if I click the top one here, that's in the center, I'm just going to drag that down to about 5. Now, if you want to be exact, you can click in that measurement box. Let's say I want it to be more like 8. That's 8 units thick. Why don't you try that? So our goal here really is just to make a basic nameplate with our first name. You want to make something a little bit more fancy, like I did, then your sizes are going to be different. I printed this one out, and you see that I think I did it too thin, and it made it curved. So if I print it out again, I'm gonna make it a little bit thicker, more robust. Okay. Now I want to make this more of a rectangle. So I'm gonna take this top right corner and drag that over. So now I see my numbers. I'm looking at about 52. I don't know. Let's go a little bit more. I'm just kind of going by eye here. Now I'm going to right click and drag a little bit so I can see my rectangle, my rectangular prism. You know, at this point, I don't like red. I know I'm wearing kind of a red shirt, but this red is fire engine red. I'd rather go with maybe a fall. I'm going to pick a different color. So if you click on that properties box, if your shape is selected, see how I have my shape selected. Now, if I don't, that box goes away. Click on the shape, and you can go up here and adjust the color settings. There are the basic colors in the palette. Then there's also the option to make a transparent color. See how it kind of see through? It still has kind of a fade of the original color. So I'm gonna, for now, I think I'm gonna go with that so it's better. You can see what's going on. All right, so basically, it's just gonna stop for a second. What do you think? Y'all been pretty quiet, but that's probably because you're focusing on the different features that we've been going through.
I have a question. Is there you said transparent? Where is that button? Where is the
Oh.
transparent?
Oh, let me show you again, okay?
I missed that. I was
No
I was looking.
Yeah, I mean,
reading
hey,
something else, and I
yeah,
looked up. And,
yeah,
where is it?
this Tinkercad was designed to be a great entry point for students, even young students. But there's complexity because there's all these different settings. So I'm gonna make sure my shape is selected.
Yeah.
And then I click on the color.
Okay.
That opens up the palette. Down on the right, there's a little checkbox.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Now, if you're used to seeing gradients on the transparency, like from a Photoshop or something, this
Mhm.
isn't that. This is a toggle on or off.
Mm.
But that's okay. You know, we're getting there. Okay, do you see a shape on the shape palette that I could use for letters?
The text box.
Yes, that's what I'm going for. Kathy's like, yes. And the answer is there are other ways to do letters, but this is just a quick, easy way. Once I have that, I can just pull it over and, you know, don't be afraid to change your view if it helps you see better what's going on. See how I'm moving it around? Obviously can tell that I either need to make my text smaller or make my rectangle a little bit bigger. Oh yeah, and I need to put my name in there instead of it saying text.
If you have a long name, you might need to make your
Yeah,
nameplate a little bit larger.
you might have to get creative, Catherine.
Yeah, it's kind of a long name.
Yeah.
9 letters.
Kip doesn't have a problem. He could make a little cube. Okay. Also, you know, I didn't mention it, but you might have seen that if you use the scroll on your mouse, little wheel, you
Oh,
can
yeah.
you can zoom in and zoom out. Also, your arrow keys, I'm using my arrow key on my keyboard, and it's a way to nudge that shape around. Nudge, nudge, okay? And the nudge direction depends on, you know, which way you're looking. Okay. You see how my letters are inside the shape?
Mm.
What I want to do for my name badge is make it look like it's carved out. So like if I were to print it, there would be an open space for the letters. I mean, it might be cool if they stick out too, just like this. But I want to show you the whole feature because I think it's the coolest. So what I'm gonna do is first I'm gonna click on the text, and I need to change that setting so it can say my name, right? If I click on the little arrow next to text, I get these different choices. Like I can, instead of text, I'm going to write my name. And instead of multi-language, I basically four simple fonts. I'm going to go with serif. It kind of looks a little bit more formal. And then you can have some other fun settings here. You can just try them and see what they do. There's height. Whoa, I don't want to go like that. Whoops. So you can type in the number here. I think if my rectangle was 8, maybe I'll just go with 10. Yeah, and see it just sticks up a little bit. And then what if I adjust the bevel? That might be kind of tricky with this font, but let's see. Oh,
Oops.
it really didn't really notice anything.
Hi, Mark.
Go a little bit more. Oh, kind of looks like a balloon, kind of blew up.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes,
can
we
hear
can
you.
hear you.
Hi.
Yeah.
I have a question. How do you layer it? Because my name is showing up under the shape. How do you layer or make it go on top again?
Okay. Hi, Carla. Uh,
Hi.
listen, I understand what you're dealing. It can get frustrating because like that was the hardest thing for me when I started using Tinkercad was, I would put things where I couldn't get to them. I think what you're referring to is it underneath this work plane?
Yeah, the name, like if I drag it, I'm trying to drag it on top of the shape, it's going like inside the shape or under. It's not
Okay.
on top.
Okay, great. So I didn't mention this earlier, and so I'll bring it out here now. There's a cone at the top of a shape when you select it. That is the way you click that, and you can drag it up, and you can drag it even below the work plane.
Oh,
See that? Now, if I wanted to go back to the work plane, then I would just put it at 0. And it goes boom right there. So if I move that back, see? So you can even just try that. You can click the cone, and now it's back under the work plane. Back
Okay.
to 0. Does that get after what you were trying to
Yes.
do?
Yes, it worked. Thank you.
Wow, that was great. You can also, experiment with different ways that you can move it around. It's kind of hard to explain. Like if I'm looking at it from the angle here, most of the instructional pieces that I've seen, they recommend that you go to the corner because that way you can kind of see both sides and judge the distances and stuff. But if I click on it here, it's like I'm kind of sliding it around on that work plane. But if I click it over here, then it opens up this compass, and that's a whole different kind of move. See, I can move it on a different axis. Anyway, I digress. How are we doing on time? 4:30, okay.
yeah.
One of the things that I would recommend if you're gonna introduce students to Tinkercad is just give them plenty of time to play around. But maybe some very simple steps like we're following today. And then time to talk about it in the process, because some are going to just want to explore and not be talked to about it. They're just going to want to go. But others are going to feel better if they have like really closely guided, scaffolded. Okay. So we need to change that lettering shape to a hole. In Tinkercad, you noticed when we went up to the color palette, there's another option there called hole. So I have my letters selected. I'm gonna click hole. That makes it a empty space. Oh, I kind of messed up my alignment. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on the workspace and drag over them both of the shapes. That's gonna select them both. So watch what I do for a second. I'm gonna show you how to use this alignment tool. This is snappy. This is great. I selected them both. And then up here, I click on a line. You see how it puts 3 dots?
Mm.
If I click on the middle one, it lines it into the center. And then I click on the other center one. Boom. It's in the center that way too. Now I could do the 3rd axis, but I don't need to because I don't want it to go, I don't want it to go this way. I'm just going to leave it there. Yeah. It's already aligned to the base, to the work plane. So that's the alignment tool. Now, for the real magic, I'm going to select them both again. And then up here at the top, I have a group tool. It looks like a little square with a circle inside of it. Click it. And it's going to do that work. It's going to open up that space in between the letter. I mean, it's in between, it's going to make those letters hollow. Did it work for you, Sally? I see you nodding your head.
No, I haven't tried that one yet.
Okay, no problem.
But I'm going to try it now. I was just listening.
Okay, no problem. We got you. Now, can anybody tell me about a problem if I want to print this? I'm going to go up to the top view here. What do you see would be kind of a little bit of a problem if I want to print it? See that part in the A, that middle shape in the A? Well, I don't know how the 3D printer, I mean, not that experienced with 3D printing, but that's going to be kind of a problem. So how about if I just make a base for this whole thing? Everybody said, "Oh yeah."
I tried to do it right now in
Yeah.
the same way.
Mhm.
It didn't really like it just like mixed the both colors. Like
Yeah.
I mean, I had my name in yellow and the rectangle was in blue, and it's just now both of them are the same color, even though I selected it all and I did the group. I don't know what I
Okay.
did wrong. It looks like it's stained inside.
I think I want to show you, Sally, what I think you did. So I'm going to bring a different shape onto my work plane. That's just a basic cylinder. And let's say I take this other shape. What do they call this one? Torus. I like this one. I'm going to bring it in here. Actually make it a little bit bigger so it'll be, kind of clear. Let's say I want to combine those. So I select them both. And then I do the group. And it made them both that one color. Well, why? Well, I forgot to make that one a whole. So I'm going to do Control Undo or Control Z. And I'm going to make the blue one. Remember, I need to click whole. So that's going to make the carve out of that cylinder. So now that it's a whole, select them both. It kind of looks like a hat, doesn't
Yeah, yeah, it does.
it? And that's really kind of cool. It's like not exactly the right shape. I mean, it's kind of uneven, but you see what it did? Because I made it a whole first. So maybe that's what you did with your name. Okay, so let's take this one and just checking the time. We're doing fine. What I'm thinking about here is just, I'm just gonna try to put some finishing touches on my name. I want to show you how to share some of your work, and then we'll look at these different activities for the week. Okay, so for a base, I'm just going to take my rectangle and I'm going to work above and just bring it out.
Oh,
Somebody's calling.
so sorry. I'm gonna answer this. I have to.
Okay, just mute yourself. Okay, so right now my rectangle is just way too big. How about if I bring it down like this? I'm just going to look up here. How's it on the sides? Yeah, it could probably come out a little bit. Looks pretty good. I don't like the color. Okay. Now, my name is hard to read, so I'm going to change that color and not make it transparent anymore. There we go. Now those letters kind of pop because of that contrasting color. Of course, if I print it, it's just going to print monochrome, like one color, right? Depending on my printer. but I can always paint it afterwards. Okay, let's say I want to share this with you. I'm going to click on export. And this would be how I could download it and print it. Or in some cases, I can directly print from Tinkercad. But we're not really talking about printing today. I want to share it digitally. So click on send to. And if I just click on the picture right here, the download button, it's gonna download that image. So I'm gonna share it in the chat just to be fancy. Any questions? Oh, there it goes. And it's funny, Tinkercad automatically names your files. They called this one. Oh, okay, it's blocking my sharing of the file. It's calling it dazzling, fluffy something. Okay, another way to share it, if you scroll all the way down, is by a link. So click on invite people. I'm going to copy the link and then share that because it's just a link. If you click on the link, it should open up my name in your Tinkercad. It's a collaborative link, so you probably could add something to mine. Be nice, okay? Puts a trash can on my name tag or something. It'd be fun if, you know, if as a teacher you made a box or maybe some kind of a fancy bucket, and then the students could add their designs to it. That'd be kind of fun. Probably more advanced. Okay, that's my name automatically saved. Up here, I can change the name. Marks, name badge. Hey, somebody just added a cube. Thank you for adding a cube and not messing up my name. All right. Oh, we got a pyramid. Everybody, we got a pyramid. Can I have a sphere? Can I have a sphere? No. Who's messing with my design? Just kidding. Okay, I want to show you what these projects are for this week. And why don't I just have a volunteer help me pick one, and I'll just do a quick, like 2-minute look at it. Let's see, where would I find that? I need to go to the module. Find my way around Canvas here. Everybody's so quiet today. Okay, so Media Creation Collaborative. I'm going to go all the way down to this module. I'm going to close video creation. There it is. So you'll see down here, I have some resources. There's the simple design activity that we did. If you want to do that again, the steps are there. There's some resources on this topic. Recording will be here later, sometime later this week. Click on My 3D Design. That's the assignment. So you see here, your assignment is to create and share at least one original 3D design, or maybe a remixed design I thought would be fine. Now, you could be a very simple approach here and just submit your name badge, but that would be like the very minimum. So I included it here with the step-by-step. But if you want to take it a little further, depending on your interest, I have one here that is making a monument. I got the idea from a social studies teacher. He's in the references there. There's make a tiny house. That's the one I would do. I was doing that one earlier this week and having a fun time. Make a simple tool, or maybe I meant last week. And then that's a screwdriver. I got the idea from a middle school shop teacher on that one. And then modify an existing design. That's one where you download a design and modify it yourself. So who has an idea of one that I should just take a quick look at?
Can you take a look at the name badge that I created? I feel like I didn't really do a good job.
Okay.
Um,
Do you want to share it in the chat?
yes, sure. Share
Okay.
screen, right? Or the link or
Share the link in the chat and I'll open it up in my Tinkercad.
okay.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, Kip. That's great. He left his note. And
I'm
somebody
sorry,
put my,
how do you share again? Is it from send
let me
to
show you.
or
Yeah, send to. It's kind of hidden, so don't worry. You've got to scroll all the way down in that send pop-up to invite people.
oh, invite people? Okay.
Yeah. And then click copy link.
Okay.
Okay, there it is. Let me open that.
I'm apologizing in advance.
No. That is totally fine. I think this is great, Sally, because it helps us put ourselves in a place of our students in this spirit of making. There's both the exhilaration and excitement of sharing something that we've created, but there's also this sense of fear of, oh my gosh, what are people going to say about my design? And so help your students, show them how to talk about the experience and evaluate how they're doing in it rather than on the basis of it being a finished product or not. So I see what you did. You added a heart shape. Is that the base?
Yeah, and I tried to do the whole again with my
Mm-hmm.
name, and I don't know, did I get it right?
I think what you
Or
did,
no.
I think so. I think you made the rectangle a hole. Let me try to make that a shape, a solid. Let's do a color like yellow. That kind of goes with that brown.
Because my
And
name
then,
was yellow.
oh, I see your name is there and
Yeah.
it's yellow. So let me pick a different color for the rectangle. How about green? And it's a transparent green. So let me turn the transparency off. Okay, so I see your name. It's fine. Oh, I see your name and the rectangle are the same. They're already grouped? So that's not a problem. I just going to go to ungroup. So next to the group button is ungroup. Easily, it just takes them apart. So now I'm going to go back and make the box a solid. I think what you might have done is when you made it a whole, they were already grouped. And so you just change the order. Okay, so your name is there. Let's see here. And how about the depth of it? Oh, I see. Your name is at an angle. So you remember that?
I did not mean to make that
No,
angle.
no, and that's kind of what I was talking about earlier, Sally, is when I was first learning Tinkercad, and I did the same thing when I was learning SketchUp. It's hard to find your orientation because you're working with that third dimension there. You don't get the hang of it. So if I click around here, if I click on this one, it changes the rotation on that axis. But I want to change the rotation. I think it's up here. Yeah, there it is. Let's see if I can back up a little bit. Yeah, I'm not sure how to take it back. It's not wanting to cooperate. Well, you can easily just bring in another font set. So let's do that. If all else fails, try again. Oh, I see. We're at a different orientation here too. Okay. How's everybody doing? That's kind of awkward because it's down below there. Go back over here. Where did it go? It's inside. Control Z. There it is. I'm going to say Sally again. What's the font you use, Sally? You remember?
Okay, whatever one.
Okay,
I
it
won't
doesn't
remember.
matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh, that looks pretty good. I'm just gonna kind of play with the size. And there we go. So I just clicked around and dragged, put that in place. Now the letters are still selected. So that's what I want to make the hole. Then I'm going to select the rectangle, and I'm holding the shift key down as I click. I think I got them both. Group. Da 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 da. Nice. That's super duper. I want to give you all the credit though, Sally. All I did was tinker with it. But you can take it. You still have that. I mean, it's let's say the name Frantic Jatuli. I'm just gonna write Sally.
Oh, I don't know what that means. I didn't give it to myself.
No, Tinker automatically creates these funny names. So
Oh.
depending on the age of your students, they'll think it's hilarious. Some of the names are pretty funny. So that's that. Well, good. Looking at the time, I want to just bring us to a point of reflection. I want to just remind you that then you have these different step-by-step guides to work with. But it also says that you can just create something, original. You don't have to use the step-by-step guide. Tinker has a lot of built-in tutorials too, so you might find one there that you want to do. And then turn in the images in Tinkercad. So, all right, considerations. As I mentioned here already on number 1, in the iterative design process, let your students have the freedom or guide them to get input often, not just when they have a finished product. That will encourage them to keep going and to persist. And then, what options will you give your students to share their reflections? How will they get input on the work that they've done? To think about. All right. I want to share with you a link to get your feedback. If I can find it here. I want to ask you first though, how does it feel to delve into the world of 3D design? Yeah? How do you think your students, do you have a student or some students that you think are just gonna go crazy with this stuff? I know that some of them, you'll have to give them a time limit or something. Okay, so this is the Jamboard here. Click this on.
Can I chime in there for a second, Mark?
I most certainly can. I mean, you most certainly can. Thank you.
When I did this, I taught in a technology elective at a middle school. We did different technologies, but with the 3D design, that was the thing. Like if I had a sub for a few days or something that I know that would, I needed them engaged, and this was it because it doesn't require reading where kids get tired and frustrated, and they'll just do it for, forever. I actually have video. I was very proud of this. At middle school and high school when, if there's 10 minutes left before the bell rings, kids will, I better pack up. The bell's going to ring. These kids, I have video of it, were startled by the bell because they were so into it that the time has passed. And so it's probably one of the most engaging things I've ever seen students do. In my
that's great. Fantastic. If you got that link, share a maker statement. I mean, something inspirational or thoughtful. I was reflecting on how I think I've always been drawn to be busy with my hands. I learned to be a woodworker from a young age because my father always had a shop in the house, and he let me get more progressively more access to different tools. No power tools till I was about 13 or something. But yeah, that's something that I think is it's helpful for me to focus. And you might find that with some students too, that if they're tinkering away on Tinkercad, they might help them relax. What are those 3D goggles, or what should I know what those are? There's another connection that I was going to mention too, and that's 3D design is very desirable in the world of gaming. Students that are thinking about having a career in gaming, getting them involved in 3D design might be a good place to start. You can design a character. And I think it's possible to bring some of your designs into Minecraft. Or you can make your designs in Tinkercad look like they would look with blocks. So up here on the top, you have blocks. That's the Minecraft format. Now, it's not going to be anything fancy with this design, but that's basically what it would look like in Minecraft. And then here would be, that's what it would look like if you made your name tag in Legos. Well, that's kind of abstract. Okay. All right. Oh, wait, let's see. Does anybody else have a deep thought here? Yeah, key effect. When we love things, we make more than things. We make more than things others make for us.
We love things we make more than things others make.
Ah, thank you.
No, that's written poorly. Okay.
I didn't, maybe it was me too.
We
I
like
see.
things that we make. We take
Yeah.
pride in it. So if I make a hamburger, I
Mhm.
eat a hamburger, you make I like mine better because I made it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, touching base or back to what Kip was saying about Legos. Well, it wasn't just Kip. Who else is saying that they were? Oh, it was Chris. That I think that spirit of wonderment that comes from putting something together. Tinkercad kind of has that same vibe, and I think some students that are really into have been into making, unbeknownst to themselves, with Lego, they get it, Well, good. Are there other comments? Did anybody want to help me understand what the goggles are? I don't get it.
It's 3D, I think. That's my
Okay.
guess. That's
Okay,
my total guess, though. I have no
That's
idea.
kind of what I thought. It was maybe, but I was thinking maybe it was an early version of Google goggles or something.
Yes, just 3D, three-dimensional.
3D-dimensional goggles.
Oh, very cool. Yeah. Good.
I had a question, Mark. I thought I heard that the Tinker has a Lego
Yes.
component?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. So I'm gonna go and you can still see my screen, right? It doesn't really work great with a flat. I'm gonna go to my designs and there's my house. Don't you like my little tiny house?
I do.
Check it out. What's that?
It's good for the homeless. It's a 3D,
Yeah.
it's a tiny house for the homeless. It's a perfect design.
Well, thank you. Perfect. I'm not seeing that it's working that way. I can open it this way. Just click on the Tinker This button. So Kip, I'm trying to show you what this thing does. It's not what you think, at least not what I thought originally. So there's my design. If I click on the Lego block, it's called bricks. It's going to build it in Legos. Isn't that cool? So of course, it doesn't do the angles like I had it built, but it does have this stuff inside.
You have furniture in there? Oh, let me see. Oh, look, there's a
I
little,
made it with
there's a
table.
couch and a chair.
Yeah, I put a bed and a chair in there.
It looks like a little chair and a little table.
What some people do is they go ahead and they just do some screenshots here. So there's 3 different design sizes. I'm going to choose the finer one here. It uses more blocks. The first one it defaults to number 1 and it's like really blocky. Okay. So cool. Builds it up. Come on. There it goes. Nice. Then if you click on layers, there's the first layer. There is the first layer. So you could just do a screenshot of that and then you go through the layers like this. There's the next one. It's not very detailed, like as good as the directions you get on in a package. But hey, I think it's great. Go through it like that.
That's very cool.
Yeah. I'm trying to think about how I can get my 2 sons to get into making some money here if they put some designs together and then they could build them with all their random Legos because they just in a huge box, you know. So, okay, well, everybody, we're at the hour. I'm going to stop the recording, and I can say that I look forward to seeing your designs this week.
There's a question, how can you make a door and windows? Is there a shape like that?
Well, you use that hole feature that I showed you.
Okay.
So I have it in the step-by-step.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So if like you're going to do the house, basically you make the shape and then you make another shape smaller, but make that the hole, align them, and then you group them. And that's going to take out the inside shape. You don't want to take the time to build the walls separately and then kind of try to stand them up. It would be too tedious. Good question. Okay, so I said I was going to stop the share and the recording.